We witnessed an embarkation nightmare, and this is something that could happen to you. Hey everyone, what is up? My name is Jordan.
And I'm Jared.
And we are JJ Cruise. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're coming to you from the beautiful country of Spain. We are on the Celebrity Beyond transatlantic crossing from Europe back to America. And getting on the ship a few days ago, we truly saw someone going through an embarkation nightmare.
But before we get into today's story from the sea, please subscribe to the channel. We are so close to 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, and you can be the part that makes us go over our goal of 50K. And while you're at it, hit that thumbs up as well.
We want to preface this story by just saying, if you are the people that this happened to, we are so very sorry that this happened to you. And also, do not bring any hate into these people. What they did was an honest mistake. And it truly is something that could happen to anyone if you're not paying attention at embarkation day. So there's a few very important takeaways out here, especially if you are a first-time cruiser or someone that hasn't been on a cruise since COVID. You're going to want to listen till the end to make sure that this does not happen to you when you are getting ready to take that cruise.
This could ruin the beginning of any cruise vacation by a lot, and we'll talk about all of that. But we have to start with where we were coming from, because that actually adds and what really makes it important of why this story matters. We were out of Rome. Now, Rome is a different cruise port than any other because there is some distance from the city center where people stay to that of Civitavecchia, which is the main cruise port. Now, when I say some distance, there is like an hour or so commute, and it's multiple different ways. You can get there via train, you can get there via private transfer, a taxi if you really want to, but it's a long commute, sometimes a stressful commute because there's a lot of other travelers getting on one train all at once. Bags are going all over the place. You're trying to make sure you get off at the right port. Once you get off at the cruise port, you have even more to do.
For us, we took the train, and when you take the train, you then have to take a bus to get into the port. Now, the bus system can be very complicated because while it's easy to just get on a bus, the port in Civitavecchia can be very large, and there's ships kind of spread out all over the place. So you have to get on a specific bus to take you to your specific ship. The buses are very bad at telling you what ships they are going to. I think our bus said we're going to Celebrity Beyond, but they didn't say they would also be stopping at Enchantment of the Seas, which is another ship that was in port that day. And so people that were getting on Enchantment didn't board our bus, but then our bus ended up stopping there anyways. So it was kind of a little bit of a cluster getting to the actual ship and which ship to actually get on.
And of course, this is a generalization. I'm sure there are fantastic bus drivers out there that do their best to make sure people are going the right places, but we're in a different country with different languages, so we do give there a lot of grace. There's definitely going to be some that are fantastic and really helpful, and there's going to be others that are not so helpful. So once we get on board our bus, we are going to a port where there's multiple different ships. It does not help that in the same day that we are taking off on our transatlantic 14-day cruise, on Celebrity Beyond, that Celebrity Edge is also embarking on another epic voyage, but the opposite way.
Yep, the Celebrity Edge is headed down to Dubai. So a very different destination from where the Celebrity Beyond is heading to. We're obviously on our way to Florida. But these two ships were parked in completely different areas of the port. They had different buses going to them. Again, it wasn't super clear. When we got off the bus, we were dropped off in front of a large terminal building with a long line coming outside of that building. Now, most of the people that were on our bus, I think, had the same thought process, just go automatically get in line. There was something, though, that did not seem quite right, and that was the fact that there was two Royal Caribbean flags just posted up outside of the entrance to that white building. There was no signs. There was no signs saying, like, this is what this ship is, or go this way. It was just a long line, and we saw two flags. So Jared was very smart, and he's like, why don't we walk around this building? And that's where we actually saw where we were supposed to go.
Yeah, we were supposed to go to Celebrity Beyond's terminal, but both terminals were right there. So it was the right drop-off point, but there was not much communication of the fact that this was specifically Royal Caribbean's Enchantment of the Seas versus Celebrity Beyond is a little bit further of a walk, but it was not visible from the drop-off point. So that is only where the trouble actually begins, believe it or not. That's why we had to tell you all of that to be before this, how confusing it can be going to this port to begin with. So your mind's already a little jumbled before even getting to your right terminal.
We walk up to the Celebrity Terminal. Again, didn't really see any signage that it was for the Celebrity Beyond, but we saw a Celebrity flag, like the giant X, outside of the terminal. We walked in, and that's where we were dropping off our bags. So, of course, for our seasoned cruisers out there, you all know dropping the bags is the number one important thing that you do. You give your bag to the porter, and then the porter takes it onto the ship, and it gets delivered to your stateroom. And you hope that there's no problems with your bags from the time you drop them off to the time they arrive at your room.
After you drop off your bags with the porter, with your bag tags, you go through multiple checkpoints as well as security. Those checkpoints all have your boarding pass with you, a set sail pass, whatever it may be for your cruise line. For us, our boarding pass, our express pass, some have it printed, some have it on the app. And every single place you go, you have that with your passport, and they usually scan the code, make sure that you're in the right place before you move on to the actual gangway.
Now, I want to specify here, our passes were looked at a total of 3 times in the terminal. Once we got into the security line, which we were in for about 35 minutes, it was checked by a security person there. Then we got through the security line and went to the top of the stairs, and there was a second person checking your pass. Then you went and actually got checked in, where they scan your pass, they scan your passport, they take you through all of the steps to make sure that you're in the right place and you're getting on the right ship. After all of those checkpoints, we got to actually get on the gangway and get up to the Beyond.
And after you go through the gangway, which is that bridge, going from the terminal to the ship, on board the ship, there was actually another checkpoint there to scan your pass, and that's where security personnel on board the ship were making sure the right people were going on the right ship.
This is where it all fell apart for a couple of cruise passengers. Now, this was an elderly couple that had gotten to the top of the gangway, dropped off their luggage, went through all of the checkpoints, fully got checked in for the cruise, only to be told on the Beyond that they should be on the Celebrity Edge, and they were checked into the wrong ship.
Now, of course, there's a lot of questions immediately that we had, as well as I'm sure this couple. Like, how could this even happen? I went through how many checkpoints beforehand? But it is very rare in this European cruise port to have the same ship class at port, at least for Celebrity. So these terminal workers could be just looking at saying, oh, that's a Celebrity and that's a Celebrity Edge class ship, you're good to go, and not really registering that these are 2 different ships. I don't know how the scanners would go wrong. We aren't that, involved here to know that. But this is a nightmare because once your bags are already checked with the porter, they're gone. They're going to be loaded onto the ship and somewhere in the bow of the ship waiting to get delivered to your stateroom. And it is a pretty much impossible task to find those suitcases at any time before sail away. Hopefully they found out some way to get their baggage back, but weirdly enough, we don't have an end to this story. Maybe someone will write us and tell us the end to this story. We'd love to hear it. If so, we hope the best for this couple. But here are the things you have to do. You have to always double check whether it's a taxi, an Uber, a bus, a shuttle bus, a train, whatever it is, check where you're going 2-3 times before you even give your bags to anyone.
There are similar ships that can be in port on any given day. This actually happens a lot at the port of Miami. The Oasis class ships often share that port, and they might be going out on the same day, given a delay, or maybe they're just scheduled to be there the same day. So you always check and make sure you're at the right terminal for your correct ship. Even if you see a similar color or a ship that looks like your ship, it could be a sister ship, which means you might be in line for the wrong ship.
Our hopes is that this couple got on board that ship, but then had their suitcases transferred from our first port, which was in La Spezia, Italy, to whatever their first port was. That's our hope. Maybe that happened, maybe it didn't. We'd love to know. If you do know anything else, feel free to send us an email. But that is our story for today.
Don't forget to let us know what you think about this video below. What are your thoughts? Has this ever happened to you? We've never actually seen this happen, and we were a little bit shocked, but we know in the world of cruising, nothing is impossible. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out jjcruise.com to book your next vacation. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and until next time, see ya!